all good things, as they say, must come to an end. And that's what this video is about, at least for me. After nearly 22 years of cracking things open, teaching lessons in the TR Dojo, and talking with a host of dynamic developers, I'm hanging up my hat as Editor-in-Chief of TechRepublic. Now, my decision to leave TR wasn't one I made lightly. Over 20 years ago, I left the IT industry to join a small .com based in Louisville, Kentucky, which was a novel concept back then. TechRepublic would grow to become the leading site for enterprise IT professionals, and I am incredibly proud to have played a small part in that story and to have worked with some amazing people. But the time has come for me to shift the course of my career once again, just like I did when I left IT for tech journalism. And TR will be in very good hands. Tamara Scott, Managing Editor of Small Business Computing and TechnologyAdvice.com, will be picking up the mantle of running TechRepublic. And I couldn't think of a better way to introduce her to you than an interview, since cracking open didn't seem appropriate. Here it is. Tamara, thanks for joining us here. Before I ask you about this really cool podcast you have, I want to come back at that at the end, but give me and everybody a little bit of information about your background.
So my background is actually in English education. So I studied to be a high school English teacher, taught for 6.5 years. And for various reasons.
Had all the students you could handle?
Yeah, well, 150 students every 6 months, every semester was a lot.
Okay.
But I loved teaching. I loved writing in particular, and I knew that I could do it well and that I could teach other people to do it well. So after I left teaching, I started writing for the web, as everybody was doing back in the early 2000s. Worked at a couple of different places, ended up actually working for a SaaS company that did marketing reporting called Raven Tools. Worked there as a customer support rep. Doing customer support taught me so much about technology. So then I started working with Technology Advice as I was called a technology analyst back then, and was writing blog posts and giving readers unbiased information about the types of technology that they need for their business. Figuring out what was the right and wrong thing for different types of companies. And so over the years that has evolved into editing Technology Advice and small business computing, and now this.
And when you and I have talked, and knowing what you all do at TACom and knowing what you're doing in small business, it's so in line with what TR has always been about. So I guess my next question is, what's maybe the most exciting thing about the new role you're taking on in taking the helm at TR?
First of all, the people, the staff of writers, freelancers, analysts to produce this amazing content that you guys have been producing for over 20 years. It's just so exciting to be able to work with these incredible professionals. I've been in just a few meetings directly about content so far, and just the depth of knowledge and the insights that they're all bringing to the table has blown me away, and I'm so excited about that. The depth of business news that you all have been able to cover, that TechRepublic is doing on a daily basis, that really brings insight and analysis to business users of all stripes. So Technology Advice, we had a couple of pretty high level topics that we were really focused on. Same thing with small business computing.
So speaking of talking about it all, I think a great place to maybe wrap things up is, like me, you have a podcast. Now, my podcast, Dynamic Developer, that I've been doing for a while for TR, is tech-focused, specifically around software development. But yours is not tech-related at all, and I find that fascinating. So tell me a little bit about this podcast.
Oh, goodness. So My now former neighbor and I started a podcast called Dear Final Girl, which is a horror-related advice and horror movie podcast. So it's like we are like the Dear Abby of the horror community. So what it entails is we read a letter from a listener and we pair it with a horror movie, and then we talk about the movie, but also, you know, sort of life advice. We are not therapists. We should probably not be giving advice, but the context, for me, it was, you know, I have a deep love of literature and a deep love of horror content, from, you know, movies to books and everything in between. And so it's a really fun mix of the two.
You know, I couldn't think of a better way to kind of cap things off. So thank you again for taking the time to do this. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, Bill. I'm so excited, and I feel like you've set us up for another 20 years of success.
I certainly hope so. And thank you to all the TechRepublic members who have supported the team and me for the past 2 decades. As we've always said, you're the rock stars and we're the roadies. Our goal is to give you the information and resources you need to make great decisions about technology, and that isn't changing. For TechRepublic, I'm Bill Detwiler. Thanks for watching.